Hey guys! So this week I did get the Panda all the way done. Pretty excited about that. I mean, I really only had a little bit left to do, so it's not like that big of a reveal. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I got it done on Monday, and I also got the pattern done and to testers on Monday, so that was exciting. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks or month or something, I will actually have it all the way done and, you know, the pattern updated and ready to be sold. At least that's my goal. Things tend to take way longer than I expect them to, so we'll just see. But I made progress, and so I'm happy with that. Last week I asked you guys to vote whether I should work on the baby elephant next or the whale pattern. And most of the votes came back whale, so that is what I've been working on. And so I'm doing something a little differently this time, where usually I use fleece, Exhibit A, you know, for the feet, the hands, feet, this one also, the eye markings. I really like incorporating fabric into the patterns because it, you know, there's usually a surface pattern on there that can make it a lot more interesting. It gives it like a nice texture. It's just different. You know, most amigurumi are just yarn. And so I think it's fun to kind of make a mixed media art. And so on this whale, I am trying using faux leather, so a vinyl, for the bottom of it. So I just got started. This is clearly row 1, and I am crocheting. You can see I made little tiny snips in it. Okay, you can see probably if I do that, but there are little tiny snips in it, and I just crochet through it. And most of my crocheting I do with a pea-sized hook. It's a 11.5 millimeters. I really like the look of it when it's worked somewhat tightly, but not too tightly. I guess more tightly than if you're making a blanket. I think that's one thing that people run into, is that they assume like Bernat blanket yarn, and so they crochet as loosely as if they were going to make a blanket. But you have to think amigurumi, but not so tight that you kind of lose the stitch, because the chenille yarn stitches can kind of disappear. Anyway, that was a side tangent. So, so I start off using a 5.5 millimeter hook to work through these, the cuts that I make in the fleece. And I do pull them a little bit loose so that the pea hook can fit into the next row. So I actually started this morning this vinyl, which is going to be the bottom of the whale. I originally had 42 stitches in it, and I started working on it this morning, and it was so tight, like it was curling up really weird. And so I redid the pattern, and now there are 50 stitches in it. So this whale is going to look a bit different than the other one that I had. I would hold it up and show it to you, but I finally got it to the little boy that I made it for. He's, you know, only like 4 months old now, but I finally got it to him. Alrighty, it is Thursday night. Hi there, it's Thursday night, and I've been making some decent progress on the whale. I made some adjustments to how I did the bottom. I mentioned before that I had 50 stitches instead of 42, and I felt like I needed to increase after that so that I could get the shape that I wanted. The result being that it is way bigger than the one I had made before. And I just started stuffing it to see how it fills out. And honestly, I don't like it at all. And I've noticed when it comes to my work, I either love it or I hate it. There's like no in between, and I hate it. So I'm going to be tearing it out. And I think think I'm going to make some adjustments to the bottom as well, and try again. But I mean, that's just part of the game, so here goes. Today's quote is "All love eventually becomes help" by Paul Tillich. And I wanted to introduce it because I knew that in the bottom of my frame, all you guys would see was help. And I didn't want that to be some sort of weird, like, subtle plea for help of anything. I'm doing fine. I just really like the quote and I wanted to be reminded of it. Anyway, that aside, I wanted to show the progress I've been making on the whale. So this is where I am so far. As you guys saw earlier, I had to completely resize the bottom. On the very first whale that I made, the bottom was a lot larger, and I started kind of immediately decreasing from there. So the bottom came up to like about here, and then I built on top of it. It all curved up. The problem with that was that the tail had to be sewn onto what I had the fleece before, and I really didn't like the look, and so I knew I needed to change it. So that's why on the first time I attempted the whale this week, I made it, you know, bigger, and I added more stitches, and then I started increasing from there and kind of rounding out, and it was huge and I didn't like it, so I cut it way down so that the so the material could stay on the bottom and not really come up at all. And this way I'm hoping that when I make the tail, it will be able to sit right here, just right on this bottom row, and it will look a lot more natural than the first whale that I made. So that's why I made those changes. And honestly, I think if I hadn't had to frog that entire like bigger whale, that I probably would be done with this week, but I'm not. So this is really all the progress that I have to show. I guess other things, I did get the Snowy Owl Crochet Along uploaded to YouTube. I decided to render it into 3 segments so you guys didn't get 14 notifications of different things that I was uploading. So that is done. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put the link in the description. Also coming up next week, I am going to be finishing the whale and getting started on the baby elephant. I know on the whale, a lot of you guys were kind of interested in how the faux leather or the vinyl was going to be working out. And a couple of things. I don't think it was necessarily perfect for this project. I do still really love the color, but the whale does have more of a tendency to curve up, and so I don't know that it was really the perfect choice. Probably next time I will go with fleece again. I am still looking forward to using it, you know, in 3 years when I finally make a unicorn, because I think it will really kind of shine there. It also does have much more of a masculine feel. I mean, other than the fact that it's gold and kind of shimmery, it just the texture of it does come across as a little bit more masculine, and could be really nice to use on stuffed animal for a boy. So anyhow, it's been a good week for me. I hope that you have a lovely week, and I will catch you next time. Take care.